Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and today we're going to play with the Ocean Tides collection by Gina's Gem Creations. And we're going to use the Surf Edition today. And so in this kit, I'm going to bring it out here. We've got all kinds of little ocean blues. I've got some crystal and pearl colors and white and really cute little findings. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a pair of earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace out of it. So I'm started out with just laying out my earrings. So I brought in 2 fishhook ear wires for my stash. And then from the kit, I've got two of the starfish beads. These are ceramic, really cute. I've got some little pearl dangles and just the little gold hemalite beads. And I think those are going to look really cute together. So I'm just going to make a set. So to start off, the tools I'm going to need are, I've got some 20 gauge wire. Now, I always keep my wire in a bag. The reason is because it tends to unravel. And I don't like that because it gets tangled up in my wire box. So I just stick it in a bag, easy and convenient. Just make sure the bag's big enough to hold it. Alright, I'm going to use my needle nose pliers and my wire cutters and my round nose pliers, just to make sure that I have all the tools I need. So that's where we're going to start. So this is going to be an easy to put together pair of earrings and quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wire out and I'm going to fish out. So it looks like it has like a little knotted part in there, and this part. So I'm just going to bring it around and I'm going to trim about 3 inches. Now, when I trim, I do like to trim on the flat side here, just so I don't have any burrs. Alright, and then I'm going to cut another even piece. And this isn't the prettiest wire in the world, but it works for what I need it for. Okay, and 20 gauge, you know, is a little bit stiffer, so you don't have to worry about wrapping wire, because that gets kind of difficult and tedious. Alright, now, another tool that I like to use is my wire straighteners. They have this padded little pads on here, which these actually weren't made for this tool. However, I found a good deal at Amazon, so I made it work. And basically all you do is just take your tool, run it down the wire. It doesn't damage the wire, but it does a pretty good job at straightening it out. So you gotta kind of move your hands a little bit. Sometimes you gotta turn it down just a little bit just to straighten it up the best you can. Okay, so next I'm going to trim the end very lightly here, just to make sure there's no burrs. And then I'm going to take my, hopefully I'm not getting off camera, because I don't like when I do that. So I'm going to try to stay within camera. So I'm going to do it right here. Okay. So I'm going to put that in my pliers about, I don't know, 1/4 inch up, I guess. And I'm just going to turn. Okay. And I'm going to keep turning until this end meets the wire, just like so. Then I'm going to insert this way and just turn it back so the wire looks like this. Okay, can you see that? I'll bring it up for you like that, okay? Alright, so I'm going to pull that down. And just try to straighten up with my fingers just a little bit, just to make it easier. Okay, now, since I have a loop on here, I'm going to treat it like a jump ring, and I'm going to take my pliers and just pull it towards me so there's a little bit of an opening. Okay, and I'm going to insert my pearl. And then side to side motion, always I'll close it up and make sure that there's a tight gap right here. So basically no gaps. I want it tight to the wire. All right, so that looks good. I'm just gonna continue to try to straighten it up as much as I can. Next, I'm going to run this up through the Starfish, and I want to make sure that this goes side to side. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Actually, it kind of looks better going this way, so you can see how I've got it. Now for the, I'm going to put the hemalite bead on, just like so. And then for the ear wire, since the ear wire goes front to back, I'm going to have to do this loop side to side. Now, my method of measuring is I'll hold it with my thumb in a certain place. I want to position this where I want it. And then I'm going to hold it like thumb's width. And then I'll trim just like that. And I always trim with the flat part of the pliers towards the piece of work, just so, you know, you won't have any burrs and it'll be nice and clean. Okay. All right, if I get off camera a little bit, I'm sorry. I'm really trying to pay attention, but you tend to only have so much room to work with, so I'm trying to keep within that space the best I can. Okay, so now I'm going to, since that will be front to back, I'm going to go this way and go side to side. Now the beauty of these round nose pliers is you can adjust. So if you need your hole to be a little bit bigger to meet at the end, all you got to do is slide it up the wire. But you do want a tight closer just to make sure that everything stays in correctly. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pliers and flatten it out. And so it's a little bit off right there. So I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers and bring it back just a little bit so it looks nice and neat. Now, you do have the ability to, I'm going to hold that and then just turn this one a little bit, just to make sure that, you know, this one is front to back and both of them are nicely spaced. Just like so. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, and then the earring. You can either open it here or on the earring. I'm just going to do it on the earring. You're going to look for where the end of the wire is. In this case, it's on the inside, but pay attention because sometimes it's on the outside of the ear wire. So I'm going to just pull it outward. I'm going to insert this and then close it back side to side, and I want to make sure that that is close together and tight. Okay, and so the bead itself, I kind of want the rough side out, so I'm just turning it a little bit to make sure it looks good. Okay, I'm very happy with that. So I would say that's really cute. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do the second earring. So I'm going to trim my wire here. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and about 1/4 inch up and just turn it until it touches, and then go back and turn it so it's nice and even. Okay, you can use your thumbnail too. I'm not very good with fingernail polish and nails with jewelry, but you know, it is what it is. It's just me. Okay, so I'm going to straighten that up. And next I'm going to pull this part back a little bit, just enough to get the pearl on. And then put it back on there tightly so it's nice and even. So I'm also going to just kind of pinch this a little bit up the wire. Oh, that's nice and straight now. That worked perfectly. You see that? Okay. I'm going to come up through the bottom, and this is going to go front to back. And then I'm going to put my little gold bead on here. That's so pretty. Okay. And next thing I'm going to do is just I have my own measurement technique, and you can do what feels right for you, but just kind of at the tip of my finger, there's like a width that I like to use, and so I can have uniform loops. Okay, so I'm going to try to make sure that's front to back. It may not work perfectly. I may have to adjust, but from here I'm going to take the very end of it and go side to side until it touches. Now, if you need to, you can back up on the loop, on the round pliers a little bit, just so you can get that in there tight. Okay, so that looks good. And then I'm going to pinch it shut, kind of like a jump ring. And I do see a little bit of a gap here, so I'm just going to wiggle my pliers and just kind of close that gap as much as I can, just to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. Oh, I did that well. So I've got this going front to back and this one side to side. And then, of course, I have my earrings wire, so that's going to the inside. So I'm going to pull it up. And let's see which is the textured side. This one's more textured, so I'm just going to do it that way. Close up my gap. And there you have it. Two really cute, simple pair of earrings. Okay, so I'm going to start my next project in a minute. I'm going to make a charm necklace, and so I'll be posting that video separately. So this will be a little 3-part series just to make a whole, just a whole necklace, earrings, and bracelet set. So it's going to be really cute. So I'll be back later. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. Make creativity be your guide.